Today marks the first day in this bunker and the start of this new life. I've been dreaming about this moment for years, and now my dreams have finally come to fruition. The entire world descending into chaos, with everyone scrambling around for shelter. But me? I've been prepared. I built this bunker years ago in anticipation, and now I'm finally here. Of course, I'm not alone. Lynn and Katie are here with me too, but I'm not sure if Lynn will be able to adjust. The grandeur of this phenomenon is lost on her. Lynn, for some reason, she's too concerned with the lives of the other people. She's almost self-sacrificial and detrimental to the well-being of our community when she badgers me to let other people into the bunker. I tell her the same thing each time, that in the reverse circumstances, the people in the hypothetical bunker, they wouldn't let us in. For they know, as I know, that the goodwill of humanity died when the bombs went off. It might take some time, but hopefully Lynn will learn that this is the way things must be. But for now, I must remain focused, as this is only the beginning. Now, admittedly, I've been slacking with these video logs, with the distance between my current exposition and the last being roughly 3 weeks. I've been too caught up in my research to care about trivial things such as mediocre documentation. However, I find myself in a lull and thus unable to commit true passion into my research, hence me making this as a moderately effective distraction. Lynn's beliefs, they're problematic, not only to my ability to properly focus on my research, but these radical notions of benevolence and caretaking are infectious to the budding mind of my young daughter. Lynn and Katie alike haven't experienced the world as I have, and their knowledge about society as it is, it's infantile to say the least. See, Lynn, she doesn't understand how society operates, how it's always operated. There has and always will be this notion of the success of the strongest link, and the desire to raise oneself to become the strongest. See, humans put gorillas in cages to prove that they have power over the gorilla. They showcase it to the world and promote it as if it's remarkable, even though it isn't. It's had the power and influence stripped away from it. For now, it's no longer a gorilla, but a mere carnival attraction. However, when a young child falls into the gorilla pit, the gorilla now has the modicum of power. It has the young one's life in its hands, the life of a child of an oppressor, to destroy or mangle by the gorilla's choosing. Now, the humans realize this too, even if it's a subconscious realization. They scream and holler to attract someone who can wrestle the power out from underneath the gorilla. The guards come and they prep somebody with a weapon, and then they shoot the gorilla, they kill it. But not in order to save the kid, but in order to take back control. Now, this might not make sense to you, as I'm sure your minds are just as primitive as Lynn's is, so let me put this into simpler terms, in the hopes that Lynn one day stumbles upon this tape and learns the error of her ways. Alright, so, a nuclear apocalypse occurs, and a family's prepared. They secure themselves inside a bunker safely, where they're prepared for the next 10 years or so. Where they have the power. Now, the other people, they don't have that luck. They are powerless, unless they thirst. They hunger for power. They might claim to disguise their lust for power as a person in need of some help. And let's say this family lets them in. Well, then the visitors pull out guns and shoot the family. What happens? It's the natural flow of society. Person A takes the power from person B. The concept of benevolence is as abstract and imaginative as fairies and nymphs. Lynn doesn't get this, and it floats over her head like the radiation-polluted clouds that float above our sanctuary. Hopefully she will soon. This morning, there was a banging on the door. Luckily, I was able to get to it first before Lynn could wake up. The fucking imbecile had broken the lock off and tried to force his way in. Now, of course, he kept banging on the door like the simple-minded primate that he was. Coupled with his incessant shouting, it was enough to wake Lynn up. She then proceeded to preach to me about how we should let him in and offer him shelter, but I stood my ground and told her that he wasn't to step one goddamn foot into my bunker. So instead, as if to spite me, Lynn gathered up supplies and brought them to the intruder and sent him on his way. I told her that when her kid starved to death, it'd be because of her goodwill. And she could thank that vagrant. Lynn, she then had the audacity to ask me why I cared so much about being alone. As if I haven't explained this to her so many other times. The only thing I seek and care about is the acquisition of freedom. Freedom and relief from the moral and social wrongs that plagued and devastated our world for so long. She called me selfish and proceeded to sing her song about helping the world instead of being isolated away from it, not realizing that in our isolation we were free from prejudice, racism, bias, and propaganda. Everything that can plague and ruin a society. Yet Lynn just doesn't get this. There's no way to get through to her. She's too stubborn. Her mind is like a narrow hallway with a giant deterrent in the middle. New people can't cross the hallway just as the old people can't leave. The success rate of my attempted persuasion was slim to none. What else was I to say? I know that the most efficient way to survive what the world had metamorphosized into was to educate the young, such as my daughter, and finish my research. So I removed the ball and chain from my ankles, and the device had slowed my progress. I told Lynn to go find those people that she wanted so desperately to help. See, this way, my daughter's mind can't be plagued by Lynn's ideas of irrationality, so while Lynn sadly wasn't able to visualize the world for what it is, my young daughter shall. I've reinforced the door with the leftover materials from the initial building process. No one shall vandalize my sanctuary's ideas of a perfect society, one without terror and prejudice. Never again. I haven't been really able to do anything with my research as of late. It's just, there's so many factors that are holding me down and preventing me from being able to do. This bunker, there are things about this bunker. Thoughts, feelings, perceptions, abstract realities that make no sense. Things about this bunker that scream to me in the middle of the night and that whisper into my ear about the presence of a non-believer, informing me that she is not shaping up to be as I had hoped, telling me that Katie and her ever-changing and developing brain have been poisoned to think like her. Now, I know that I was careless in some ways, but now I know better. I see, I feel, I hear that this is the last stepping stone on my golden road to freedom. I had hoped that she would be coming with me, but it seems not. I must not falter now. There must be no tethers to hold me to this ground. This ground. This is the result of all of my years of hard work and dedication. It all leads up to this one moment. I hear the screams, yet there is no face. I very much know the phrase "my daughter," but no longer has significance to me. The physical embodiment of one such Catherine Bennett is no longer tangible in this world. Visage floats freely away, no longer able to taint my perceptive world. Her name, Catherine, Katie, no longer shall be spoken in my sanctuary, for her ethereal being can now distance itself from the rotting carcass in my cellar. This sanctuary no longer has conflict, nor suffering, nor senselessness. The will of being, the will to live, is dead. The natural system that is the tragedy of life is no more. No longer shall someone in my sanctuary be tempted to a goal that offers no permanent satisfaction. The curtains have been pulled back to reveal the stage. The lights have been risen. There are no more obstacles to evade, no more tethers, no more bodies. The stage has been set for the arrival of its grandest player, freedom, and it greets me at my doorstep. Hello there! Thank you for watching the video. Now I'm going to tell you to do 3 things. 1. Subscribe to the channel in which you've watched it. 2. Go subscribe to the other channel that has posted it. Either it be Wildcard Productions or Chris Rivera. And 3. Go play the game on Steam. Fingerbones. It's worth it. Goodbye.
And free.
It's also free.
For you cheap bastards.
For you cheap bastards like Peter Eldridge. Goodbye. Have a nice day.